Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to this episode of A Woman's Prerogative, where we provide high-class education for all our viewers. We also encourage our followers to have access to free content that will help them in their journey on Earth. This episode is about the slow return, dancing back into the rhythm after the holidays. In collaboration with E360, we are viewed on USA Global and TV and radio by over 106,000 followers on YouTube. I invite you to subscribe naturally. We also are watched on LinkedIn, X, Facebook, and Instagram. We are broadcasted in over 60 countries and over 10,000 live stream shows. This show is co-hosted by myself and the wonderful Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, who is founder of this station and also the producer of the show. She teaches elevated listening and is an Amazon best-selling author. She was awarded the Silver Creator YouTube Award in 2025 and is Ambassador for Peace. So I will let our marvelous Dr. KERBECK introduce herself. Thank you.
Hello, Reverend. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for another wonderful episode of A Woman's Prerogative. I've shared this before, but this show has a lot of history. It goes back from when we first started, and we were a team of women, which is pretty amazing. And so now we actually have 2 episodes of this show, one now and one on Thursday nights. So I'm excited to explore this topic with you. I know we're both advocates for people finding that inner peace and being able to determine what really matters and what's just a bunch of noise. So sometimes after the holidays, people have a lot of noise about what they're supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do. Maybe they're in debt because of all the money they spent through the holidays. Maybe they're exhausted and run down.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. They're run down. That is why we have to actually help them go back to the rhythm that they had before the holidays. That is the way it is, because it's not always easy. Look at the gym. Going back to the gym, you are back at the gym. You never left the gym. You're always there. But as for me, I am neglectful. I had 3 weeks where I did not do anything, and I am paying the price. So that is the way it is. So I am paying the price of not going to the gym. Well, I do the gym at home actually, but for 3 weeks, I enjoyed myself and I took the time to be ill also. So
You know
that
what,
was
Reverend?
my holiday.
I'm sorry to hear that you were ill. It's interesting though, many times after we're under a lot of pressure to get things done, we will get sick. And I've shared this numerous times that the body just starts to break down. But I do have a special announcement just because we're talking about the gym. Today, later today, I will be going to a place called Solid Core. I'm not a paid spokesperson. I keep waiting for a check, but it's not coming. And today will be my 1,100th class. So I started in 2018 and I had to take a couple years off during the pandemic to take care of my mother. There was no Solid Core where we were, but it's a big day, especially for a 62-year-old woman. So I'm excited.
Wow, that is really amazing. That is impressive, actually. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
so when you think about adjusting to routines, I think also our mindset, we could actually be creating new routines as a result of maybe having witnessed something about ourselves. Maybe we have come to terms with something about ourselves, or maybe even about our relationship or our community or our work. And so maybe we're setting some boundaries and deciding to do something else. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think we have set boundaries a lot more. I know I have set boundaries a lot more during the holidays. And I realized I was very tired because I had to go here and there all the time. And then I realized, I'm not going everywhere all the time. And finally, my mother-in-law decided that she was coming here. And we had a wonderful time with my mother-in-law, and she even came with two dinner. So the thing is that I was lucky enough to have my mother-in-law, bonus my sister-in-law, and two dinners were ready. So that was wonderful.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. You know, something else I just want to mention, you live in a part of the world where it's very cold. And I think that that can also have an impact on not yours per se, but in general, when it's very cold, sometimes people don't even want to go out. Sometimes people just say, you know what, I'm not leaving my home today. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, it does. It does actually, because at one point it was minus 32 degrees Fahrenheit here.
Oh my
Uh, I was doing a show with you. It was minus 32 degrees Fahrenheit here. So the thing is that you were wondering how could I could do it. But the thing is that I even went and bought myself a new ski suit because it was not warm enough. What I was wearing was not warm enough. So that is what I did because I was avoiding going outside, and I had this mask. If you had seen only my eyes, we could only see my. But the thing is that I enjoyed myself. That is what I really like because I like nature. I'm very happy here. Very, very happy here.
Well, I really appreciate that. I am not a cold weather person. And speaking about people adjusting after the holidays, I know even some people I'm very close with are into the cold plunging. So, no, I am not cold plunging on any level. I don't care how good it is. I can't stand, I just don't like the cold. Every morning, I will have a protein shake and I put frozen blueberries in there. And so I have a problem with my circulation. My hands and feet are always cold. I think it's called Raynaud's or something. So once I have that shake, I am frozen inside. Like I can't even feel my hands and feet. So then I quickly will go and take a shower. But I give you a lot of credit because even wearing a warm suit, your hands and feet, your nose, your ears, they can still be really cold and that can impact your ability to do things.
Um, Not really, because I'm a fur person. Fur hat, fur mittens, fur scarf. I am fur. The thing is that, for those that are anti-fur, I am very sorry, but the thing is that I keep myself warm, and I do not, yeah, I am sorry. The thing is that I was a vegetarian, but I was still wearing fur. So try to figure that out. That was something difficult to understand. Very difficult to understand.
Yeah, that's a great point that you brought up. I have had a number of furs in my life. They were gifts that people gave me. And I remember many, many years ago, I was in Philadelphia and I was walking down one of the really well-known streets in the center of the city, and somebody sprayed red paint on me. And I never forgot that. And they started chasing me. And after that, I started looking at wearing fur a little bit differently because, especially if you're in a city, and I guess it depends what city you live in, but there are some people who definitely, I experienced it. They came after me.
Well, I understand because the thing is that actually here we had the phenomenon of Brigitte Bardot. When she came here to Canada, to the province of Quebec, and she started manifesting against killing the I don't know what it was, the animals. Anyways, the thing is that she did not want any killing, but the thing is that she is not in Canada. She was not in Canada, and I am sorry for her family's loss that she has passed. But the thing is that people do not understand unless they live in our kind of climate. They do not understand that only fur actually keeps up warm because it is so cold sometimes that actually your bones freeze. So that is the way it is. I come from a place that one day they closed the schools, the stores, they closed everything. The police set the alarm because it was minus 101 Fahrenheit. So the thing is that I was in a mining town in Upper Canada. It was 5,350 degrees in elevation above sea level. So the thing is that it was that cold. So we buy fur because we need it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I love that perspective. That makes a lot of sense. So, with the holidays being behind us and people getting into new routines, or I know some people who are very depressed also because the holidays are over and they look forward to them all year and they build up, and then it's kind of like, okay, now what am I supposed to do? How is it that you work with people? You're an empath and Reiki and author, all the things that you do. So when people are coming to you and telling you that they're having a hard time adjusting, what do you suggest? What do you do to work with them?
Actually, what I do is that I study their environment because everything comes from the environment, not only the person, actually, because being a holistic nurse, being working in metaphysics, we work with energy. We actually look at the entire surrounding of the person. So it was called, from cause to effect. So the thing is that we look at the surrounding, we look at what is going on, we study the environment, we study what is that the problem is in the life of the person, and we try to work with what is surrounding them. So we do not only work with the person, we actually work with what is around the person. So sometimes we will have to include the family. Sometimes we actually do interviews with family members to help them, because sometimes family members are in crisis and there are more than one person in crisis, and they do not realize that one has an impact on two. So the thing is that if we look at the surrounding, we realize that the mood of one or two, or the influence of someone, will actually have an influence and make another one depressed. So this is the way to go.
That is outstanding. And when did you start doing this work actually?
I was like 24 years old when I started that. I started with guided imagery. Actually, I started with guided imagery. I was leading people to actually go beyond their possibilities. I was helping people imagine something that they did not I was bringing them in other realities because there are many realities. We know that. Well, many people know that. There are multiple realities. So the thing is that we can choose our realities. So the thing is that I was helping people go into a reality that they were choosing. So what I was doing is I was making, and I still am doing the same thing. I am actually writing a text with the person according to what is their dream life and actually sending them in that reality. And since I am a medium and if things do not go well in their trance because they go into some kind of a trance, I actually can know, I actually can sense and can see. I do not know how to explain how I can see what they see inside their head. I cannot explain that one, but I can see what they are seeing. And when they are in distress, I can actually help them get out of that reality if that reality is pushing them in something that is causing more distress than helping them. So that is how I do things. So I work with multiple realities. I help them find the best reality and change their world and their surrounding by doing so.
Thank you, Reverend. And so this could be a perfect time of year to actually come to you and for you to work with people. Is that correct?
Yes, it is a perfect time because the thing is that people are trying to adapt and they can focus on what they want and what they do not want. Because what I do is that I write personal guided imageries with them. So since I write personal guided imageries, they can actually choose the reality they want. But I can also do Zoom meetings with multiple people because I can make programs. I make programs from my books. So what happens is that I can meet several people with the same problem. They do not just have the same environment, but I will work with the cause because the cause is pretty much the same as the same for cause for everyone. So if they have the blues because of their work, I will work with them because of the challenge that it is working in an environment that they do not like. So I will help them see the right, the, the blessing in their environment and will help them actually help others in their work environment, in their workspace change. Because some people, sometimes what they do is that they bring someone from their working space, they bring them to me, and then there's 2, 3 from their office that start working with me. So then we have a changed office because the thing is that people start thinking differently because they're a group now, they're a family. I make them work like a family, not like co-workers, but like a family, just like us, USC Global TV and Radio. We're a family. We're not co-workers. We're family.
Yay. Thank you for sharing that. We definitely are a family. We all support each other. So when you are, because we're talking about routines. And so does someone have to be fully committed to engaging in a new routine? Because what I found is people will typically go backwards, meaning that they want to do something and they feel like because the calendar has changed, now this is a specific reason why they want to change, but they don't want to do the work and they're not actually 100% committed and acknowledging the fact that things will come up along the way. And that's just meant to test us, not to say, okay, don't do it. So how committed emotionally, spiritually does a person have to be in order for new routines to come into play?
They have to be very committed. They have to want. I cannot do the work for them. They have to do the homework. the thing is that, I always say, if you're angry at the universe, it's like being angry at your teacher because you did not do your homework. So that is the way it is. And as for discipline and commitment, I always make a joke about that one because people say, well, I'm going to start slow. Okay, so I say, if you want to start slow, it's like someone that wants to start smoking. Will you start with nicotine gum and then go upward, and then you're going to go vap, and then you're going to start smoking? So the thing is that you're talking to me with something that is so illogical that I do not understand. You're not going to start easy. The thing is that you have to go and jump in the reality that you have to do it. That's all. You do not go backwards. You go forwards. That's the only way is go forward.
That is probably one of the best analogies I have ever heard, actually. I love it. I love it. Well, I've shared this before, but so you mentioned I go to the gym and I do work out. I try to work out every day because it's part of who I am. And on the priority list, it's got to be right up at the top because if we don't take care of our health. And what I've seen in the last, what's today, the 12th, in the last 12 days, the gym is packed. It's absolutely packed. Solid core is packed, wait list only. But I know, because I've been a fitness instructor for a number of years too, I know that in February, early March, it's going to go back to the same way because people either want to jump in fully and they're not committed to it. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Well, you haven't worked out in years. And all of a sudden now, because the calendar changes, you're going to go and completely change your mindset. And then you're going to get injured. Or else they're going to just tap their toe into it and see how it goes. It's like, no, you need to have a plan. Maybe have if you can't afford a trainer, maybe go onto YouTube or go into places where people have content that you can actually look at. But you've got to know what you're doing so that you don't get injured. So my question for you is, how does someone actually come up with a game plan, a business plan, a strategy, even when it's for personal development, and even having accountability partners like yourself so that they're not going to start off doing something and then knowing they're going to fail, and then it's going to set them even further backwards potentially?
Well, having someone that you're accountable to is very important because the thing is that you feel understood. I was doing this program, 10,000 steps. It started really funny years ago. It was for Black Lives Matter, something like that. So we had to walk 10,000 steps a day. So I decided to do it, and it was a February. It was a February month, I remember. And then, I got into the routine and then walked and walked and walked and kept doing it. So the thing is that you start by being accountable to someone. I was accountable to a friend, and from being accountable, you do the work, and you try to find something you enjoy doing. That is the important thing. You find something you enjoy doing, and you find a partner that you like, actually, or you join a group. If you want to, let's say, lose weight, you join a real group. You do not talk to artificial intelligence because they will not be the person to be really accountable for, because it is something you cannot really interact with. So they do not have to lose weight for real. So the thing is that, you have to find someone to be accountable for. And it's important because the thing is that it works with emotions. So you have gratitude for them being interested in your progress, and you are interested in their progress. So that is the way it works. So you try to be accountable to a real human being, and you make groups also. So I know that I'm willing to start groups. I'm willing to start groups that want to want to be accountable for any kind, if they want to be in yoga, if they want to be in the 10,000 step challenge, I can start groups doing that, because being accountable to doing groups to walk 10,000 steps a day and reaching out and talking to one another, I can do that because it is really fun to actually have a community where you do the same thing. That is something that I could actually start with people that actually want to get in, get back to being happy and move. The important thing is to move. Even if in Canada it is difficult to walk 10,000 steps outside, we can walk them inside.
That's very true. And I love this idea because when you join a community where people have like-minded goals, you can make new friends and you have a whole new group of people in your life, which is really cool. So, something else I just wanted to share, because it is so cold where you are in other places, people could also do home workouts, which can include planks. Have you ever done a plank?
Yes, but I have difficulty because I have tendonitis. So the
Mm.
thing is that my arms, it's difficult. I cannot do it like too long. But I admit that I like doing plants. I do like it, and it is just that I am not as tough as you, because you go as far as 1 hour. You can go as far as 1 hour. So the thing is that, how is it for someone that's 62, 1 hour plank?
No, I cannot. I cannot do an hour plank. I just want to, the longest I've gone was 23 minutes in a row. But I hurt my hand. I'm a certified spin instructor, and I guess my form was off. And it was probably a year and a half. No, actually, I moved in November a year ago. So it was, yeah, maybe it was a year and a half ago. And it hasn't actually gotten any better. So solid core is a lot of planks. And so I'm not doing it for timing anymore, because I feel like in order for me to get to like 30 minutes or something, I could really injure myself. But there is a woman who's broken the record. I don't know her name. I think it was over 4 hours. I mean, I can't even
Wow.
imagine. It's incredible.
Wow. That is amazing. Can you imagine?
But imagine the mindset that has to go into that. And that's kind of what we're talking about today, is it's really changing our mindset. So for example, I've noticed, I guess since I was 55, I look at pictures of myself and I was definitely leaner than I am now. And sometimes it really bothers me because I don't understand. I'll say to myself, I don't get it. I work out every day. Like I watch what I eat. I watch what I do, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I just said to myself, it has to be hormones. So I was going to actually set out and change something about what I'm doing. And then I just decided, you know what? The stress that's involved with every single day watching what you're eating, and I'm not going to deal with it. So I'm just going to accept the fact that I've gotten older, my hormones have changed. I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not going to be taking some kind of pills or getting some kind of an injection, or I'm not going to do it. And I just have to accept the fact that I am 62. And the hard thing is, you and I were talking about, we don't watch the Golden Globes or any of those shows, but if you're on Instagram, you can see, and they show the women, the actresses who are over 50, and they're all like gorgeous and this and that. Something happens when you turn 60. Okay. Nobody gave me a book and said, by the way, this is what's happening, but things do happen. And we can only do the best that we can do. So when you're making plans, they have to be realistic as well. So if someone came to you and said, I want to completely transform myself in 30 days, what does that even look like? And we have to look at what is actually possible, what's doable.
Yes, you are right. You are right. Because the thing is that same thing happened to me. The thing is that, I realized that I was completely changed after 55. And I was like you, just like so thin. Actually, I was a size 2. So the thing is that, so, so from size 2, now size 5. But the thing is that, we have to accept, we have to realize also that we build muscles. when we exercise, we build muscles. You are muscles. You are not you are not anything else. The thing is that you are muscles. You are a strong person. You're very strong. So the thing is that people have to understand that what you are doing, all the workout you are doing, makes you a very strong person. So the thing is that you are extremely in shape, a lot more than me, because I was into yoga. So the thing is that I was not doing the same workout as you. So so everything depends on the workout that we do.
I agree with you. And you're reminding me of something that is coming up for me, which is many times women specifically who are successful. And by the way, success looks like a lot of different things. It can be a woman who's been a stay-at-home mom and wife, and she's been behind the scenes making all the things happen, but never getting the accolades that she really is due. But many times we are successful and we have this internal scorecard or scoreboard of things that we go back to. And I'm actually writing a book on it. But for me, I always go back to my physicality, how I look physically, and also with all of the work that I do and all the degrees that I have in the education, like, why aren't I a billionaire? Right? These are the two things I always go back to. I never look at, wow, look at all the things I have accomplished. I always measure everything by, well, I should be thinner and I should be wealthier. These are the two things that come back for me. And to put things in perspective, just a few days ago, I have a pair of pants I've had since the 90s, and they're Nicole Miller, which is a big brand, but I've had them for a very long time. And the zipper would not go up. So they're size 4. The zipper probably went up a year and a half ago, the last time I wore them. And now I've got, really long nails. So even though like I'm trying to pull up the last inch and a half, thinking like I will get these pants closed, I physically couldn't do it because of my nails. And so I was really upset about it. And when I started to think about it, when we think about changing things and, letting go of things and embracing things, I realized what I was upset about was the fact that those pants represented another time of my life when I looked different. I was different. I'm a different person today. And I wouldn't want to go back there. I would like the pants to fit, but I'm not willing to completely change everything that I'm doing. Like weightlifting does build muscles. Now, my counterpoint is I don't think that bodybuilders who are really muscular, they're very lean, right? So probably the waistband of their pants would still fit. I don't know because I'm not a bodybuilder. But that was kind of a moment that I thought I'm experiencing grief that the pants don't go up because it's an internal scorecard that I've always had about my weight.
We are experiencing the same thing. Actually, we are going through the same thing. I understand you very, very well, because the thing is that, it has been a journey, because I changed the way I eat. Being now in a relationship, having a partner now, the thing is that, we change the way we eat, we change where we live, we change everything. And that is difficult. We get accustomed to our habits, and then all of a sudden, our world is completely changed because we actually have moved. We have new habits. We have new ways. Um, we cannot do things the way we were doing things when we were when we were single. So the thing is that sometimes we have to go on and say those were the times, and now I am here, I am in this time, and I am very happy with the time that is happening right now. So we have to be in the present moment and acknowledge that every moment actually is special, and it is not for a dress, because for me it is a dress, and for you it is a pair of jeans, but it is not for a pair of jeans or a dress that we should have grief. It is for the fact that actually we should look at the present moment and be happy because we are both in the right place, doing the right thing at this moment. Because we are doing this show and we are doing other things, we are helping. So that is what we should be proud of. The jeans, the dress, they do not matter at all. We will not bring them elsewhere.
That's for sure. I was looking up something about when, your clothes don't fit, and it's like, give it away. Like, give the pants away, give the dress away, get it out of your closet. But, something that I think also we mentioned just briefly about Hollywood and A-listers and the Golden Globes. So these people are paid extremely well to look a certain way to do a part. And they probably have chefs and they've got trainers, and so their looks are really key to the roles that they get. And I have read most recently, and I forget her name now, if anyone knows it. She was in oh my gosh, the TV series with the dragons. I can't think of what it's called. And now she's going to be playing Tomb Raider. And she's been working out, from what I read, 8 hours a day since February of last year. I mean, that's a huge commitment, that how many of us could actually do that? But that's what her job is. So your job and my job is not that we are using our looks for getting paid, right? We're not professional models or actresses or whatever the case may be. So I think we have to look, when it comes to the scoreboard, who or what are we comparing ourselves to? And I think it should be that we compare ourselves to ourselves and not to anyone else. What do you think?
I think exactly like you. The thing is that, and when you think about that, we're not into Botox, we're not into plastic surgery. Some of those people, they have actually, some, it turns out to be really ugly when they try to be absolutely beautiful. But the thing is that it turns out very bad. So we are not into Botox, we are not into plastic surgery, we are not into all those things. So yes, it's nice to be beautiful, but at the same time, there is a price to pay. Sometimes we 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 die from it. Look at Joan Crawford, Joan Crawford, I think.
The
Uh,
comedian.
the comedian, she died from a knee surgery. She wanted to have a beautiful knees. She just wanted her knees to be beautiful, and she died from it. She was a journalist, wasn't she? A journalist, and she died from it. She went for a knee surgery just to take a little bit of you know just to make her knees beautiful. Joan her I don't remember her name, but the thing is that she died from a knee surgery, and she was in perfect health, and she died just there.
Well, yes, and also I've read stories about people who have gone to outside the United States, for example, to other countries like Mexico, et cetera, and they've gotten off the market injections of things, or they've had some kind of implants, and there is no government entity or whatever that's overseeing it, and they all had problems. Now I know people have gotten it done and they haven't had problems, but it's that quest for beauty. So we don't want to pay with our lives to have this certain appearance. And if we don't love ourselves, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about us anyway.
Exactly. The thing is that, we have to work on our inside instead of our outside. I do not say not to take care of ourselves. What I say is that what's more important is that how we are inside, our soul. How is our soul? So the thing is that I was asking at one point I was asking you, what is the color of your soul? Is your soul white? Is your soul red? Is your soul blue? So, because the thing is that we have the colors, the aura. So the thing is that what is the color of your soul? So the thing is that, I consider that I have a white soul. I consider you have a white soul. So the thing is that we should actually work on the color of our soul, not the color of our outside. We should actually work on our inside, the color of our soul, keeping our soul really nice and clean and happy. So the thing is that, and keep our chakras absolutely balanced. That is how we should see things. We should actually be kind. We should be aware. That is the thing that we should do. We should be. So the thing is that it is not about glorifying our bodies. The thing is that when we actually are only focusing on our bodies, we cannot focus on our minds, which is very, very difficult to do. If someone is always focusing on their bodies, they actually are forgetting their minds. So that is why it is important to focus on the mind more than the body, because the thing is that we are all related through the mind on this planet.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. What a beautiful way for us to close out our show today. For people who want to reach out to you, what are some of the best ways to get in touch with you?
They can call me at 1-514-582-6882. They can also write to me at greatdivinemother@gmail.com. They can also send a message on LinkedIn with they say there's the link, and they also can go to my website reverendlydiafougere.com, and I will answer them. No problem. I will be very happy to answer their questions and be there if they need an appointment. And on Instagram also, Rev Lydia Fougere. So that is how they can join me, and I will be very happy to actually help them. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Reverend. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll let you close out the show and look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. KERBECK. So we have had a beautiful episode of A Woman's Prerogative. So what's important to know is that, we can be reached, I can be reached at actually 1-514-582-6882. And you can have your own show at USA Global TV and Radio, or be a guest on one of our shows. We will be extremely happy for you to join in our wonderful family. I have a show in English and in French, La Voix de la Guérison, the voice of healing. So I am country manager for USA Global TV and Radio, and for English, for Canada and French countries. You can actually buy Dr. KERBECK's books, which actually are on Amazon because she is a bestseller author. So I invite you to buy Dr. KERBECK's books. She is very, very interesting. She actually is a person that actually teaches listening. So you will find out that she has several books and many more to come out. As for my books, there are 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey on Amazon. So you can have them on over there, and I have programs from my books. So you can reach on my Amazon account. You can reach me. I always answer. So thank you for the show, and let us see you next week on A Woman's Prerogative. Goodbye.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.